Welcome back to part 6 of Google AI Studio. If you haven't seen the first 5 installments, check out the playlist. They're really good. What we're going to talk about in part 5 is image editing tools. Now, Nano Banana, if you haven't heard of it before, is basically a fancy term for their 2.5 model where you can edit and change with the power of, I'd say, Photoshop Lite. So you don't really need any more Photoshop skills. You just need prompting to make your pictures do pretty much whatever you want. I'm going to give you guys some use cases. Let's check it out. Again, we are starting out here in the home area, so we're going to jump right to the playgrounds. And to start things off, we're going to talk about character consistency. So I'm going to give it a prompt to create a character. So let me start in Imagen 4 to generate a character from scratch. And the prompt we're going to try out today is a blue robot with a cracked lens. Okay, so let's run this. And of course, I'm going to fast forward until it is generated. And then we're going to see what we can do with this little picture here. All right, we have generated this picture. Let's take a little picture. Oh, that is a cracked lens robot. So I'm going to download this picture. See, it's up here now. And then I'm going to go back into Playgrounds. I'm going to go into Nano Banana. Once you click on it, it automatically loads. So now down here, you'll see it's Nano Banana. I am now going to upload that picture. And now we have that robot. So the neat thing about Nano Banana is you have something called character consistency. So we can make that person, that character, whatever it is, go through a variety of different tasks, which is pretty wild. So for our first prompt here, we're going to set up a little introduction, like a scene number 1. Let's see what this looks like here. So my prompt is, have this robot wake up in a quiet workshop filled with scattered tools and glowing screens. So the model is going to analyze the different characteristics and try to put it in a new location. Let's see how it does. All right, so we added in some screens in the background. That's called infill. It's pretty cool. What else can we do? So for scene number 2, we're going to focus on some curiosity. We're going to have that robot notice a strange blinking button on the wall and slowly reach for it. That's done beautifully. For scene number 3, we're going to add in a problem into our storyboard. The workshop door opens to a dark city outside, and the robot looks nervous but determined. Good job with that representation. Next up, part 4, we're going to have some exploration. The robot walks through the city streets surrounded by tall buildings and floating lights. Oh, that's pretty cool. Next up, we're going to present it with a challenge. The robot encounters a broken bridge and stops to think how to cross it. Nice. I don't know how broken that bridge is, but we'll see. Now the next scene will show some problem solving here. The robot builds a simple solution using scrap parts, showing creativity and focus. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Ended up with some a secondary robot here. It's a little weird. You can have that removed with another prompt here, but I want to keep the story going here. So let's talk about some success. Let's have the robot safely cross the bridge and look proud. Alrighty. I'm not sure how proud a single-eyed robot can look, but that's just a really, really quick illustration of how crazy the Google Nano Banana is with creating an entire storyboard from scratch with image generated from Imagen. And you can see throughout all of the pictures, the character consistency is spot on. Obviously, it started with just a headshot, and then it moved to a whole body it created, and that body stayed consistent throughout all the pictures. So you can imagine all the different ways that you could do storyboards with your students and then take them through whatever character you want. You can actually take your own images and make them part of the storyboard as well. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. So what else can Nano Banana do? Let's keep going. So as always, I'm going to hit the plus button here to start a new chat. I am going to go back into Nano Banana. It is loaded. This time, our next use case is time traveling. So we're going to do some historical recreations. So I'm going to take a photo of a local landmark, and I'm going to ask the AI to revert it back to how it looked back in 1920. I'm going to upload a file here of the City Hall in Philadelphia. This is a current picture. If you don't know what it looks like, this is a current picture here. So I'm going to use this prompt, revert the picture of City Hall in Philadelphia back to how it looked in 1920. Let's see if the model can do it. Again, I'm going to let it cook. I'll fast forward this until it produces the image. All right, so let's take a look at this image, see what changed here. Look at the different vehicles, horses. I mean, they can update the people. Looking fancy clothing here. Some of the buildings, a little bit older, and the skyline. Looks pretty similar there. So that's pretty wild the way that it recreated the buildings around it. So once again, it's doing infill. It's making connections back to history. That's pretty wild. So what else can it do? And I'm starting a new image, clicking on Nano Banana. Let's mess around with some interactive diagrams. Okay, so imagine we have a diagram drawn by a student, and we're going to make it look a little more professional. So I'm going to upload an image of a circuit. This is what the student drew. I mean, it's a pretty good drawing, honestly, but if I want to make this professional, what can I do? Take handmade drawings and let's upgrade them a little bit. My prompt is generate a professional labeled version of this drawing. Let's see what Nano Banana can do. You see the more realistic drawing here. Now I could have given it a little bit more information about the text and font for that, but you could see how it took this scale drawing and made it into a little bit more advanced looking. So what else can we do here? So I'm going back into Nano Banana. And this time I'm going to see if you can fuse two different images together. This one I'll do for a science example here. So I'm going to upload a couple pictures for this one. I'm going to upload a picture of a desert and a picture of a forest. Okay, so the desert picture looks like this, and the forest picture looks like this. The prompt is going to be create a transitional biome with these two images. So some science application here. Let's let it cook. Right, let's see what it created here. That is pretty neat. So you got a little blend of the transition here. All right, it does have a little watermark down there. All right, showing that it was made with Google's Nano Banana. That's a pretty cool generation. All right, what else can we do here? I mentioned before that you can upload your own image. Now, again, warnings, never use students' likenesses or images. You do not have their permission for their students. Even if you do, you don't have permission from their parents to use it for the model. If you want to use your own image, that's fine. Make yourself all kinds of fun things. And I'm going to show you that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file of myself. So here is a headshot. This is what I look like. Oh, that guy. All right. So what can I do here with my own headshot? Well, I'm going to say, make this picture into a coloring sheet. And let's see what it does. Not too bad here. All right. Let's go another step here. Let's do it. Make it paint by numbers. All right. So you can see it has little numbers here, 4s and 1s and 2s. You can really see those numbers if you zoom in. So it's pretty neat. So I made a nice paint by numbers. I wish I would have left the coloring piece out here. So let's see if we can make this blank with no color, just numbers. There we go. That's a little better there. All right. So once again, zooming in, you can still see the numbers. All right. Except for now, it's a little black and white, a little gray. Gotta love the beard. All right. What else can I do here? I'm going to restart this, and I'm going to go back into Nano Banana, use that same headshot. I'm going to turn myself into a cartoon. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. How about this man in a suit scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl? Let's see what it creates. Oh, yeah. I'm scoring some TDs, mouth open, crowd going nuts. All right. What else can we do here? Once again, using myself as the image here. Imagine I wanted to do some safety posters for my science class. I can have this man put on a lab coat and some safety goggles. All right, so I'm going to try to create this headshot and make a full body shot of this. Let's see if the AI can pick up on my suit in this one. Oh, that's nice. Look at that swag. That's not too bad here. Now, I'm going to have this man putting on a lab coat and wearing some safety goggles. Imagine you want to make some safety posters for your science classroom. Now that I got the full body shot, I can hopefully mess around with some of the in-painting, and it means I can change characters. You can change lighting. You can change accessories. Oh, look at this. Now I'm ready. Still got the fancy pants on now. It's pretty sweet. And then with this, then I can add in all kinds of safety information, classroom signs, vocabulary posters. Really, the only limitation is your imagination here. I can change the perspective and camera control. For example, I can change the camera angle to a top-down view. Pretty cool. And I can change the background, which is called out painting. So I'm going to take this picture here, and sometimes if you try to do too much with this, it gets a little sloppy. So I'm going to refresh the model's memory by starting a new chat, going back in Nano Banana, and I'm going to upload that image I just created, and that's going to be my new starting point. So this is the image I just had. All right, and I'm going to see if I can do some out painting. And the prompt I'm going to use is change the background to the top of a mountain. Oh, look at this. That is pretty cool. All right, and let's age this guy a little bit. Make the man 90 years old. Let's see how I look when I'm 90. According to Nano Banana, that is. All righty. Oh, it aged me. I don't know. That's pretty, not too bad for 90, I don't think. I mean, same outfit, still got the swag there. That's fantastic. So once again, hopefully in this tutorial, you saw a whole bunch of different use cases where you can change infill, outpaint. You can do all kinds of changing of lighting, perspective. You can cartoonify. There are so many different ways that Nano Banana can now give you magical powers without the hours and hours of training in Photoshop. So hopefully you guys enjoyed part number 6, image editing. Stick around for part number 7, as this is an 8-part series. Until next time.